When a bojo, KK cons, Nadon, sorry, just gonna have a coffee first, sip of coffee. Sorry. When Dota, my name comes from my great great grandfather. Means little hawk. I'm from the Caribou clan of the Chimnisting Anishinaabe community, located in what is known as southern shores of Georgian Bay. Ojibwe Anishinaabe. So part of our Anishinaabe, we have our different communities in the Ojibwe. People have I guess, the responsibility to be like the faith keepers amongst our confederacy. So we have it's what's referred as a Three Fires Confederacy, the Ojibwe, Odawa, and Potawatomi. So it's basically a confederacy that came together to protect our territories at the time of European invasion. So there's more nations within our Anishinaabe family: the Algonquin, Nipissing, the Mi'kmaq, the Sodo, the Delaware. So we're a big group of people. We refer to ourselves as Anishinaabe. So this group action is a reemergence of our clan council fires because that's our original forms. That's our true forms of governing systems is our clan council fires. We're a decentralized, autonomous communities. That's how we operated. We had clan territories, but we were groups of small people that would um, utilize our land. So we're right now in our Indian Act community. So I'm trying to break out of this with action. So action stands for the Anishinaabe clans to invoke our nation. So it's a movement towards reclaiming our clan council fires within our territory. So speaking from our territories. Right now we're a loose group of people within so-called Southern Ontario that are of like-minded who are trying to come together. So what I'm starting right now as a regional coordinator of this action is trying to identify those who want to speak from their clan territories. So we've used the symbol of our wampum belt that we have established with the Haudenosaunee people that ended a war that we had for a long time. So this wampum belt acknowledges our clan council fires territories. So it's a wampum belt. It has five council fires emblems on it. So it's triangles. So that represents our council fires, and these council fires are one of them starts in the what's new called as New Credit. So that's the Eagle clan of our Anishinaabe people. Then the Anishinaabe of Lakes Couchiching and Simcoe. That's the Adik clan. So the Caribou clan represents and sits there. Then the area we're in right now, there's a Beaver clan around Penetanguishene Bay. So there's these council fires. Then Manitoulin Island, that's a Whitefish clan. Then all the way to Boateng or Sault Ste. Marie, that's the Crane clan. So all these territories within the so-called Ontario uh, historically have been recognized as our clan territories. So that's where I'm starting with action, and I'm trying to get representatives of each of those territories to kind of speak, to kind of bring this action into fruition. So right now, what we're starting to do is trying to identify our grandmothers because that's a big part of our teachings as well as that balance that we identify our grandmothers too, our clan council mothers, and to select our headmen. So it's a process, and what we've been through is trying to filter out the colonization within even our so-called traditionalism and spirituality. So in my Anishinaabe, our Anishinaabe peoples have a medicine society, the Grand Medewin Society. So that's where a lot of our people went to learn and I guess be taught medicine and our ceremonies and our teachings. But a lot of that has been kind of contaminated by you know Jesuit Christianity and all forms of colonization. And today, right now, it's kind of a hierarchy. My and other people's experience in it is very much. There's a lot of ego and belittlement in there, and you could feel that hierarchy. There's a lot of good people in there too, but this helps. A lot of them are pretty much prominent people within academic circles within this medicine society. Uh, Murray Sinclair, all these big name people who are co-opted by a Canadian government and institutions are belong to this society as well. So that kind of shows that when we're trying to reestablish our clan council fires, these people who are co-opted and cooperators with the Canadian government and the systems we're trying to challenge are contaminated, and they bring those influences within our medicine society. So we're trying to reclaim our clan council fires within our territory and try to reach out to our Medewan people and our spiritual people. They also bring that outside forms, because we need to really put our feet to the ground and be that grassroots and cut off that connection to these institutions, because any way that we're um, um, find its way within our governing our clan council fires, like the Anishinaabe Nation or the Union of Ontario Indians was what it's properly called, but they hijacked that name, Anishinaabe Nation, and they have this section called the Restoration of Jurisdiction, and they're trying to establish our own self-government agreements with Canada. But the Union of Ontario Indians, they have a grand governing council of chiefs, regional chiefs, a youth council, elders, but they recognize the Indian Act. Meanwhile, there's a lot of arguments that I've come up through constitutional challenges that can put Canada in its rightful place as a illegitimate state. And these leaderships are not speaking properly and legally within. If I can find these arguments and withdraw charges of me exercising my rights, then a lot of these academics, lawyers, and Indian Act chiefs are obviously co-opted. So when they say restoration of jurisdiction and hijack Anishinaabe Nation, they're doing a huge uh, uh, treasonous act to our people and our nation by trying to finally assimilate us. So going to the Union of Ontario Nation is a political organization, the Medewan. This is totally separate. Action is a totally separate movement. I feel that needs to, what our people really need, starting from the grassroots, ground up, separate from all this toxic organizations and people. I've always heard this teaching that you'll find who we are within our language. The elders say that themselves. So in our language, everything comes with Ode. Ode means heart. So our word for family or clan is Dodem, and that's the same word for mother, Dodem. So right there shows that we are a matrilineal people, and some our clans, we take on our father's clans, and I feel that's very direct from our colonization. And that's somewhere along the lines that we picked up this tradition of taking on our fathers, because we have a story of sky women too. My great grandmother's spirit name was Bugane Gijagokwe, Only the Sky Woman. That's our creation story, where we came out of what they call the Pleiades, that five-star system, hole in the sky, we call it. And there was an original sky woman. In the Medewan teachings, they talk about original man who eventually became known as Nanabojo. Some refer to him as a trickster, but he was our great teacher that taught us a lot of things as an Anishinaabe and gave us gifts. But there was an original woman who gave birth to four brothers. So trying to condense this in our stories, in our language, Dodem means clan. Dodem also means mother, which stems from the heart. And our teachings right there show we're matrilineal. So I try to bring this to the forefront of our spiritual leaders. But again, that hierarchy, they know best, and they don't. It seems that there needs to be more philosophizers. I don't know if I'm saying that right. more people who to question these things and think about it a little bit more. And because I ask these questions and I haven't been given a proper reasoning why we do follow our father's clans. It's just because that's the answer I get, and I'm not totally satisfied with that. So again, with that, with our teachings, I've heard from other nations, all indigenous nations are a matrilineal people. Not matriarchy, but matrilineal. Our lines come from our mother, and that's true. They're life givers. So again, with action, that's one of the head things that I'd like trying to collectively instill to question this.
There's this thing that's been
But
happening, or sorry, go ahead.
I wanted to finish with this though, but we do still have our clans. That's not to say we're not without our clans, because our clans have been documented with our places we are through signing a pre-confederation treaty. So I don't want to denounce this. I'm just saying that we need to question some of these things. But Anishinaabe do follow their father's clans. So again, with action is just a fruition of all these teachings that we've been told to where we need to go to start with, and that's reclaiming all the things that we've left along our path. So that's where we need to start, because I've personally been engaged within our indigenous resistance movements, our so-called activist circles. In the 70s, a lot of people through the American Indian movement, through our various actions, Oka crisis, many people have come to infiltrate and sidetracked us through the Oka crisis. Sijat Konisadagi, there was that movement of the people speaking as the Confederacy, but even there was shifts. So I'm talking where, like, the point I'm trying to make is our indigenous resistance movement is a kind of a pan-Indian movement where people can walk in and walk out. There needs to be a organizing and reclaiming of who we are. So our people really need that to gravitate towards, to speak behind, because I've noticed there's a lot of egos and within our governing ways. There's a lot of mechanisms that can sit down, like our what's called our restorative justice, or our circles. There's ways of handling things. There's ways of holding people accountable by total banishment within our traditional, our own governing systems. So there's ways that our clan system can help strengthen our needs and legalities too, because when trying to be humble, I'm not trying to boast that I know it all, but through my constitutional challenge and these arguments that I found, a lot of people I find, land defenders, are coming to me to ask, how did you do this? And I'm willing to share. I'm sharing so openly that like, a lot of us need to formulate these kind of separate organizations such as Action in their individual territories to represent ourselves as the true clan people, as a clan council fires or confederacies. Again, we've all had confederacies and loose united council fires in the past, but these political organizations funded by the government are ways they can't do it. Again, they're co-opted, and again, a lot of academics circles, like, I don't want to point at like the Yellowhead Institute has been awesome with their information and research and all the things they're helping to educate our people, and they serve as an alternative function for our people to get information out there and to read up and educate our young people who are active on the front lines. But we need to go farther, and that's again, I don't see these constitutional questions being shared and to delegitimize the Canadian state, again, with like, for instance, that 1931 Statute of Westminster, all these things that need to be brought out for Canada to hear themselves. So yes, it is having a separate organization that people can rally under is key, because this old way is needs to evolve, and they're co-opted. These Indian organizations, Chiefs of Manitoba, all these Chiefs organizations have proven to be dead weight for our people. So yes, totally, we need to revive our clan council fires, our confederacies. It needs to start within our own communities. As I seen with this knowledge, I wanted to help Wet'suwet'en, our different land issues. I've spent time in our Six Nations, uh, myself helping out in Conestado, and but coming back to that teaching, we need to start within our own community as well. And I felt discouraged with what I'm trying to do, because oftentimes our people who are like-minded, friends I've known across our territories, or stand alone within our communities, because it's so hard. Our people are so our intergenerational trauma is so we bring ourselves down. That crab in the bucket syndrome. Even when you're standing up and sharing good things, people like attack each other. Even in our resistance circles, you find things like that. But if we start at home, that's where it needs to start. So right now, I'm working towards a fishing cooperative, and I'm challenging the fishing license. There's a community meeting for commercial fisheries, but we're not a commercial fisheries. Action has a Bigi Women Cooperative, which means coming home cooperative. It's a food sovereignty initiative, and that's where we start within our clan council fires to feed and provide for the people, feed and protect. So we need to do that as part of our job, as our roles as men. Um, what we're taught through our elders and our teachings. So with that is I'm challenging that not as a commercial. We're a sustainable sustenance fishery and acting on inherent rights. So that's what I'm doing to challenge the Indian Act ban system, because they require me to have a license and do all this quota stuff, and I'm not following any of that. And I'm right now reaching out to other. There's a friend out there who's starting a dispensary, and we're making that fish trade. And he's going to be working in Toronto to set up his dispensary, what you're referring to. So there's that traditional trade uh, economy that we're trying to revive too. And that's part of it, because, it's very hard doing this without government funding. So, people who speak on sovereignty and land back, we need to put all our blood, sweat, and tears in. It's hard, but we got to start. We always talk about those future generations and doing things so they don't have to. And I see a lot of that as lag, and I see I'm not putting anybody down, but this is just my observations that our resistance in the past 10 years since Idle No More has become a fad. It's become a slogan, a hashtag. It's so easy to go to these events, and our movement is not an event. It's a lifestyle, and that's what I see with these. Like the academia has really kind of filled this function, but it's taken our direct actions and camps kind of away from um, our what we need to be doing as our council fires. There's a website called it's Anishinaabe, ANISHINAABEK.com. Okay, write it out to give the link later on. So that's our contact right now, and right now it's just for my community. We have a group about six of us. There's three of us guys who are doing the fishing, and we have a handful of grandmothers who are starting to make our own community traditional council. And we have sister communities, Georgina Island, Rama, that we're trying to work with, because at once we were all a tri-council, a council fire. So I'm working with, and my responsibility is to my community first, but again, we're not incorporated. We're trying to do this separately again. And to kind of go further, my idea of trying to revive this is what the Union of Ontario, these chiefs organizations, what they're trying to accomplish by restoration of jurisdiction. What I see for ourselves, our steps forward, is making our own birth registry, our own, taking a hold that far. That's the first thing these chiefs organizations, if they want to be serious, is make our live birth registry, our own organizations of say these little groups we want to do, like licensing it's we got to reclaim all that for ourselves and start doing that. So again, we're not nonprofit because we're not a corporation, because that would give into again their laws. So we're trying to hammer out these barriers and trying to fix our ways on how to, be accountable too. Because right now we're still people coming from out of these different behaviors that we've learned. So we still need to be accountable. And once we start putting, I guess, monetary, funds in what we're doing, we still need to show accountability to the people what we're doing. So it's a we still need to be I guess, an organization that shows accountability. So that's one of the things we're working on too. I wanted to add too. I touched on it again with our Medewan people, but speaking of our clan mothers too, I've worked with some. I gotta be careful how to put this because I don't want to be sounding like a misogynist, because I've been accused of stuff too just by sharing my thoughts and stuff. And I'm not trying to put down our women, but again, there's been a group who, there's and men too, who self-identify as traditional leaders, clan mothers, and hereditary chiefs. And these are people who just self-identify. So you, these people only have titles unless our people in our own communities hold them up. So that's one thing action is dedicated towards, is making it the legitimate voice of the people who want to participate in this way. And again, you talked about membership. How was that? Well, basically, it's our clan. It's the people in our communities who want to assert themselves accordingly through the clan system from each of our communities. Yeah, there's legitimate women out there who are strong voices, but again, some of them just want to pick and choose and make it a social club again, and that's kind of like reflective of various cool kids clubs that exist out there. So we need to be kind of very serious about what we're doing, because we don't want to replicate colonialism again.